Günaydın arkadaşlar. Bu haftaki dersimiz daha önceleri sizlere DBS üzerinden belirttiğim gibi 20 Nisan-26 Nisan arası Plot Action, The Three Unities, Character ve Tragic Hero üzerine olacak. Bazı arkadaşlarım ders notlarını göremedikleri için veya işte tahmin edemedikleri için öyle söyleyeyim. Zaman zaman bana mesaj atıyorlar. Hocam bunlar da mı ödev diye. Şunu hatırlatayım sizlere. Ödev diye bir belirti varsa, mesela İlyada yaptığımız gibi ödev-İlyad diye yazmıştım. Bunlar ödev olacak. Diğer taraftan diğer konular sizlerin elinizde bulunan PDF fotokopilerinizde olan ders notlarınızdır. Daha önceleri de mesaj olarak bazen yazdım ettim sizlere. Finallerin olur ya, korona virüs sıkıntısı ortadan kalktıktan sonra belki Haziran veya Temmuz ayları söyleniyor. Daha henüz kesin bir şey yok ama hal böyle olunca doğal olarak hiçbir kardeşim, hiçbir öğrencimiz kalkıp da bunlardan nasıl biz geçeriz ederiz gibi böyle bir düşünceye girmesinler. Bakarsınız finalleriniz fakültemizde, sınıflarımızda yapılır. Mesajlarda da belirttiğim gibi lütfen her biriniz derslere hazırlıklı olun. Tüm dersleriniz için söylüyorum bunları. Now, good morning my dear friends. We have some foreign students. As I told you or sent you a message before through OBS, when I give your homeworks, I mention as ödev, as it happened in İlyad. The other things are for your each week's lessons that you have in your PDF photocopies. So you have to copy and not paste in your minds all those studies, because it might have happened that your final exams can occur in our faculties, in our classrooms. So always be ready for your each lessons. Today's subject is that we start with plot, and let me tell you that as I got many messages from you that I asked if our first video conference that I put in YouTube was so helpful for you or not. Many of you just returned me and saying that it was very helpful. We can also follow with the subtitles what you give us. I mean, I give you many extra explanations, so you can just follow through the subtitles in YouTube as well. Now, plot is so important for the literary works, not only for novels, or for the dramas, or for the poetry, but you must have a plot in each of them. So we start with action as well, and also we are just talking about our old Greek literature, and we have come to the drama, old Greek drama as well. You can just follow through your PDF photocopies. I start now. We start with action first of all. The action of tragedy is of a serious nature. We have taught this in our face-to-face lessons as well. Tragedy should have a seriousness in a way, not a loose structure, but it must have a serious structure. It is not trivial. It must have a greatness. It is concerned with the great issues of life and death. Just underline those two words, the great issues of life. It takes its plot, whatever it is written in tragedy. It must have a seriousness, first of all, greatness, and the great issues of life. The plot must take its subject from life and death. Because as we talked before, tragedy must have death. And especially the relation of man to gods and man in himself. So there is a relationship of a man, an ordinary man, a character, for example, on the stage, to gods and man in himself. The action of tragedy is complete. There must be a completeness as well. It will start, begin, it will continue, as we had said before. There will be a rising action, there will be climax, catharsis, and then there will be coming down. So all those things will show us the beginning of plot, the peak of the plot, the climax of the plot, and the rise of the plot. So it must have a completeness as well. That is to say, it must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. As we talked before, the tragic hero must die at the end of the play. It is inevitable, I told you before. Moreover, it should be of a certain length, the time, beginning, middle, and end. So there must be a scala, let's say, a length of the play. Short enough to be viewed at a sitting, and long enough, pay attention, to show the change of fortune and recognition. So there is a length. It might be viewed shortly, but there will be the change of fortune or recognition of the tragic hero, for example, and it can take a bit long. So this is called the action. And as I said before, let me repeat again. The tragic hero will appear in the beginning. His adventures will go in the middle. There will be rising action, climax, catharsis, purgation, and then there will be an end. So it must have some certain elements as well. We said seriousness, greatness. It must take its subject from life and death, and there will be some relationship of man to gods, because gods and goddesses, especially gods, were so important characters in the old Greek tragedies, and man in himself. There must be completeness as well, as I said. So these elements will form action of tragedy. And there are three unities of tragedy that old Greek dramatists used in their plays. One of them is unity of action. For example, each action, following each action, should contribute to the central idea. It should give a central idea. What's the main idea of this play, this tragic play, for example? The audience will try to understand what kind of a play they are going to watch, for example. So there must be a contribution to the central idea. It exists if nothing included in the play. Unnecessary things, for example, can be omitted, left, and nothing really relevant can be added. So the seriousness, the greatness come from these two explanations. Let me tell you again, if something is unnecessary in the play, it can be left, omitted. But on the other hand, nothing really relevant can be added. If it is necessary for the tragedy, for the play, it must be added. This is the unity of action. Bir birlik olacak. Yani eylemlerde bir birlik, bir düzen olacak. We come to unity of place and time. So, according to Aristotle, that he gave those three unities. He first mentioned in the tragedies that, according to Aristotle, Greek tragedy tries to keep within a single circuit of the sun. So, a single day. We have talked these last week, but I am giving more explanations, information about those subjects. A single day. Because at that time there was no any electricity, as you can imagine. Every performance must be done, performed during the Sunday, a single day. This has limitations, and these limitations are overcome by double chronology. Just pay attention, double chronology. The action which takes place on stage, the performance is being performed on the stage now, begins at dawn, gün ışığında başlıyor, and ends before dusk, gün batımından önce bitiyor. So, during the daytime, the whole performance, the whole play must be finished, must be played. But the action which is supposed to take place off stage, sahne ötesi diyelim, is handled with extreme freedom. So, audience, for example, people cannot see what's happening off the stage. So they have more freedom. They can change their clothes. They can read their texts again. Metinlerini okuyorlar. Texts again. So they are getting prepared for the play on the stage. For example, Aeschylus, in his play, Agamemnon opens with dawn on the night when Troy is being taken. But Agamemnon returns from Troy in the course of the play war, during the play war, takes place off stage. Especially in the tragedies, in the tragedy plays, killing or assassinating someone cannot be played on the stage. They were given some hints off the stage. In most of Shakespeare's tragedies as well, it also happened like that. You cannot see anyone, the main character, being killed on the stage. For example, Macbeth is killed, but he is not killed in front of, before the audience, off the stage. We can just understand, for example, his crying, his shouting, for example. So some noises are given to the audience to understand that the death process is being done off the stage. So this is the unity of place as well. And when we come to the unity of place, for example, it didn't belong to Aristotle. It meant the play had to take place at the same location. This limitation was overcome by the aid of the messenger. So in this time, the messenger comes to the stage. to talk about the following action of the play. He brings news of the action of the stage.